Number one kicks off with a simple question I ask every client. Which will cost you more in the long run, a lease or a loan? Picture this. Brand new EV, about $179 a month. Sounds wild. A reviewer at Tom's Guide even said, leasing one is a smarter financial choice. With lease deals from $179 to $200 per month. That's the hook. But is that the whole story? Not even close. In 2024, AP reported the average new vehicle price was around $47,000. That kind of sticker means big monthly payments if you finance, and it sets the stage for costly mistakes if you only look at the monthly. I'm Morgan Lane, a certified auto safety specialist who has spent years reading the fine print on contracts and digging into rules. You're watching Recall Roadmap with Morgan, and my job is to keep your money and your driving life safer. We crunch the newest 2025 rate outlooks, EV incentives, and lease terms so you don't have to. Yes, a tiny lease payment can be real, but if you ignore mileage caps, fees, or future rate cuts, that deal can boomerang. Stick with me because I'm going to break this down factor by factor. First up, monthly payments, and why the lowest number isn't always the winner. Ready for the showdown? Let's go there next. Number 2 is the monthly payment showdown. Who wins on cost each month, the lessee or the buyer? Today, leasing often looks cheaper up front. Tom's Guide showed EVs that would cost over $1,000 a month to finance, but lease around $179 to $209. That gap feels huge. Here's why it happens. With a lease, you pay for depreciation and fees, not the whole car. The money factor is basically lease interest, and the residual value is what the car is expected to be worth at the end. High residuals and low money factors push lease payments down, but the gap can shrink in 2025. AP News says discounts and low-interest financing are expected to improve as the Fed cuts rates and automakers clear out older models. Analyst Ivan Drury even suggests better deals later in the year. If APR drops, some buyers will see payments slide closer to lease levels, especially with big rebates or 0% promos. We pulled this from industry reports and Fed forecasts so you can shop smarter. Tell me, type L for leasing or B for buying. What looks cheaper for your budget and why? Hold that thought. Monthly payments are only the start. Next up is the real long game, depreciation and equity. Number 3 is about value over time. Do you want to own something at the end or start over every few years? When you buy, each payment builds equity. When you lease, you return the car with no ownership unless you buy it at lease end. Personal finance coach Dave Ramsey flags the trap. Depreciation and high interest rates are major drawbacks of buying new. New cars lose value fast. AP says the average new price was about $47,000 in 2024, so that first-year drop can feel rough. With a loan, you carry that risk. With a lease, the lessor eats the resale risk, but you walk away with nothing. Think of it like housing. Leasing is renting, buying is owning. If you keep a purchased car for many years after payoff, the math can flip in your favor because you drive payment-free while the car still has value. If you swap cars every 3 years, leasing can feel predictable and painless. But remember, it's pay to use, not pay to own. We built sample calculators to map this out, and the trade-off is clear. If you value owning an asset, buying wins. If you value fresh tech and low hassle, leasing tempts. Now, who pays when something breaks? Let's check maintenance and repairs. Number 4 asks a nerve tapper, who pays when the check engine light pops on? On most leases, usually not you, at least for big stuff. Tom's Guide notes lessees have fewer concerns about maintenance due to manufacturer warranties covering most services during the lease period. Many deals even bundle routine care. That's because lease terms are short, often 3 years, right inside the bumper-to-bumper window. With a new purchase, you also get that warranty. The difference shows up later. After 3 to 5 years, when the warranty ends, the owner covers repairs. Buying used? You might have little or no warranty on day one, which can mean surprise bills. Quick reality check. Warranties don't cover wear items. Tires, brake pads, wipers, those are on you, lease or buy. Still, a built-in maintenance plan can save you hundreds per year during a lease, especially on new EVs where routine service is minimal. We review dealer brochures and real lease contracts to total what's covered. The takeaway: leasing can simplify maintenance and reduce surprise costs in the short term, but it's a rental. If you plan to keep a vehicle long after it's paid off, those later years can be the cheapest miles you ever drive. Next, the mileage crunch. Number 5 is the mileage crunch. What if you end up driving more than you planned? That's where leases can bite. Most set a cap, often 12,000 miles per year. Go over and you pay for each extra mile, commonly around to 15 to 25 cents. 5,000 extra miles at 20 cents? That's a $1,000 bill waiting at turn-in. And some drivers negotiate a higher cap up front, but it raises the payment. Owning doesn't have that meter running. Drive 8,000 miles or 28,000. No penalties. Industry chatter suggests a meaningful chunk of lessees get hit with over-mileage or wear charges, especially on strict EV leases. And remember, those road trip weekends, new commutes, or life changes add miles fast. If you work the highway every day or love long trips, buying can be safer for your budget. If you drive short distances and stick to a routine, leasing can make sense. We dug through fine print on typical lease terms to confirm these caps and fees. My rule of thumb: if you average more than 12,000 to 15,000 miles a year, think twice about a standard lease unless you raise the mileage. Now, what about the fine print stuff you can't see? Insurance and fees. Number 6, lifts the hood on insurance and fees. Are there costs unique to leasing? Yes. Both leases and loans usually require full coverage, comprehensive and collision, until the contract ends. But leases often demand GEP insurance. GAP covers the difference if your car is totaled, and insurance won't pay the full amount owed. Some lenders roll GAP into the lease, others add it on. It can run roughly $20 to $30 a month, or about 10 to 15% more on premiums, depending on your policy. Leases also typically charge a disposition fee at the end. Think $300 to $500, plus possible wear and tear charges. When you finance and later own the car free and clear, you can usually drop to liability only if your state allows, which can lower costs. We read through stacks of lease and loan agreements to map these extras. Bottom line, insurance costs can look similar during a loan or lease, but lease-only fees push the total up if you're not careful. Quick pit stop. If this breakdown is helping you shop smarter, hit subscribe and share this with a friend who's car hunting. Next up, a big one for 2025 shoppers: EV incentives and a deadline you don't want to miss. Number 7 is all about EVs and timing. Got an EV on your mind? There's a big deadline. For now, many leased EVs get a pass-through of the $7,500 federal incentive because of a commercial lease rule. That's one reason over 40% of EV transactions have been leases, according to Kiplinger. But here's the cliff. After September 30th, 2025, that lease loophole closes. Buyers can still get the credit if the vehicle qualifies, but lessees likely won't. Dealers won't be able to pass that $7,500 on the same way. Translation: lease deals on EVs may jump after that date. Axios also flags a wave of supply. Nearly 1 million EV leases from 2022 to 2025 are ending by late 2025, and used EV sales were expected to top 100,000 units in Q2 2025. More used EVs on the lot usually means softer prices for buyers, but weaker resale values can make new leases pricier. Europe's already seen some lessors raise EV lease prices to cover resale risk. We tracked IRS updates and industry reporting so you can plan. If you're thinking EV, timing matters a lot this year. With that in mind, let's land the plane. Who should lease and who should buy? Number 8 is the wrap-up. Which path fits you? If you crave the newest tech, want the lowest monthly payment, and drive under about 12,000 miles a year, leasing can work. especially if you value predictable warranty coverage and don't care about ownership. If you pile on miles, plan to keep a car 5 or more years, or want an asset when payments end, buying is usually smarter. AP notes financing may improve later in 2025 as discounts rise, which can narrow the lease versus loan gap. And I'll echo a classic money tip. Dave Ramsey says, buying used cars with cash is often most cost-effective thanks to lower insurance and no interest. That advice still plays. I'm a safety-first guy, so I'll add, the best deal is the one that keeps your budget calm and your car well-maintained. This is Recall Roadmap with Morgan, and my goal is to help you avoid gotchas, not push one choice. If this helped, please subscribe for weekly practical guides and tap like and share. Thanks for watching. Final question for you. Are you leaning toward leasing or buying in 2025? And why? I read your comments, and your stories help others shop smarter. Not financial or tax advice. Check a pro for your exact situation.